are so pumped to welcome Blake Bolden on to today's all-female edition of NHL. Now, Blake, I respect the heck out of you, and I appreciate you even more because I know you are coming to us in the midst of a bit of a road trip right now. Fill the people in at home where you're coming to us from today.
Yes, I'm actually driving home from Zion National Park, so excuse my background, but I'm really excited to be here with you guys today.
And we're so excited to have you too. I understand it's a belated birthday trip for you, so happy belated 30th birthday. And we're really happy to have you join the 30-something club. It's a great club to be in, as Jackie and I can attest to. But back to business, you know, we just watched a great piece talking all about your hockey journey and how great it's been on so many different levels. Now you're the first black female pro scout in NHL history for the LA Kings. You got the job about a year ago, right before everything went on pause because of COVID. So what has your new role entailed, and what have the challenges been like because of COVID?
Yes, absolutely. It's been such a whirlwind since January 1st, my third game in 2020. The stop definitely put everything, our whole organization, on hold, but it actually gave us more time to figure out what we wanted to do internally. A lot of video that I'm watching online, especially World Juniors, which is really exciting. We had my first draft that I was so pumped about, drafting Quinton Byfield. And right now, for me, I'm just learning all the players that I can, especially in the Pacific region of the AHL, and just studying as much as possible.
And Blake, we've been fortunate to be on teams together, and even last week you made history. How was it joining the broadcast for the first ever women's professional hockey game in Madison Square Garden?
Oh, Kendall, I love that you're asking me these questions because you know you helped me so much. I was like, Kendall, how do I do this? What do I do? You gave me the 411. It was a dream come true. It was such a history-making event. Madison Square Garden, one of the most amazing venues in the world, to be alongside all of my best friends, my peers, my opponents, and to see you crush it out there. It was such an honor, and I had a lot of help to get me prepped for that game, and it was so much fun.
What I've loved about this Dream Gap Tour, too, and everything that's going on around the PWHPA is the support that we're seeing from outside of the hockey world. You know, a lot of times these things happen, and people within hockey are talking about them, but people outside of hockey aren't. And so when I see that it transcends the sport, and we have other female athletes like Alex Morgan commenting on the game and saying how excited she is, how much does that help push the women's game forward when it transcends hockey?
Absolutely. Crossover is so important, not just from women to women, but from women to men. We need allies from all different backgrounds, all different experiences to lift us up and support women's hockey. And I think right now we have our best foot forward, and we're continuing on with this momentum. And I'm just really proud to be a part of the PWHPA. We've been strong and forthcoming in all of our asks, and it's been such a privilege to watch these girls on the ice crushing it. And, you know, behind the scenes, when the cameras are off, the girls are working so hard, and they deserve everything.
And Blake, we keep talking about making history last week, this week, no matter what, but you and I were actually able to make history together when we were 11 and 12 years old. We were the first all-girls team invited to the Quebec Pee Wee tournament, which we know a lot of our male counterparts, a lot of the men we see in the NHL every day have participated in, coached by the first girl to compete in the tournament in Manon Riem as a woman. She was our coach. Do you remember that experience? Can you take us back to it? What do you remember from it? We were 11 and 12 years old. I remember the snow park. I don't know about you.
Oh my God, the toboggan ride was gnarly. It was so much fun. Best memories. Yeah, I mean, having that experience and being that team, I mean, we came in there just like the PWHPA is, right? We were strong, we were powerful, we were the only girls team ever to compete in that Pee Wee tournament. And having Manon Riem as our coach, just such a pillar in the sport. Oh my gosh, look at that picture. It's amazing. Kendall, you were then still the fastest person on the ice. Oh my gosh, as our assistant captain, little Kendall is 11-year-old. It was amazing. I remember just the drive up, having ESPN follow us around that weekend. It was great. I look back all the time and I just laugh because that was the moment where I realized that I wanted to take hockey very seriously, as you and I both have.
And that was the beginning of what would be an incredible journey for you throughout your hockey career. Let's get back to the NHL talk for a second, because it is your job to follow the Kings and be a pro scout. And, you know, they're just a couple points out of a playoff spot right now, way ahead of what a lot of people thought would be their rebuild timeline. You mentioned how cool it was to see them draft Quinton Byfield second overall this year at the draft. But overall, take us into that prospect pool, and how close do you think this Kings team is to being a contender again?
Yes, I mean, just having all of our contenders in World Juniors, 9 prospects, it was such a huge number. Every time I turned on the TV, oh, the Kings have the next great come up, da 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 da. And it's just so exciting to have that feeling going forward. I watched the the AHL guys. Yeah, exactly. You've got Quinton, Alex Kurkot, Arthur Kaliev, Spagamo, Thomas Bjornfoot. I mean, we have some incredible talent, and they're all so young. So it's very nice for them to get those moments in times up at the big stage, but then come back and enhance their skills in the AHL as well.
And then you look at the team that's actually on the ice today in the LA Kings, and that veteran core is just crushing it this season. I mean, these seem like men on a mission to prove like they still got it. Are you surprised by the success that the Kings have had this season, or not at all?
No, I guess I might be a little biased, but we have such great leadership. Our captain, Kopi, he's got 22 points this season, or at least his assists are record-breaking this year. We've got Dustin Brown, who seems to be coming back so energetically and being an amazing contributor on our first line, and Drew Doughty, who is leading our younger defensive core. It's great to see, right? We thought that this was just going to be an uphill battle. We are having ebbs and flows, but as far as I can see, our future is so great with the Los Angeles Kings.
Well, jumping shift from old to young, this is a unique season. The COVID-19 pandemic has provided so many challenges. But Blake, do you feel that there's an opportunity to have an emphasis on development with the younger players watching? I know you're watching a lot of hockey online, but do you think there's an emphasis on development this year, specifically with the younger players, with the AHL, and the opportunities that you have because of the pandemic?
Absolutely. I think there's been, as we've mentioned before, a lot of time in trying to build up our players' speed, their hockey IQ, just throwing them in the mix on the ice. We've sent kids overseas to Germany to learn how fast the game could be at a professional level. And all of these things, as you know, Kendall, just being at a high level, sometimes you just have to be thrown in there to see if you can sink or if you can float. And our guys are floating, and it's just a great thing to see on the ice, see them contributing, see them and their time in the NHL, just for those glimpses. In Kaliev's first goal in his first game in an NHL, these things are just momentous, and they continue to snowball and have that effect on our entire franchise.
Well, speaking of momentous occasions, one more for you, Blake, before we go. When the Kings rocked your name on the back of their jerseys for warm-ups last month, what did that moment mean to you? And now that you've had time to a little bit let it sink in and really reflect on it.
Yeah, that moment was huge. I remember talking to our VP, and we were just discussing what we wanted on the back of our jerseys, what we wanted our Black History Homage jerseys to look like. And I had no idea that they were going to put me and Willie on the back of the jerseys. I remember calling my mom. I was in tears. I was screaming at the television.
Oh,
I was taking videos and pictures, and my family was just so excited. And honestly, that was one of the biggest hugs that I could get, just such appreciation. And it was just such an honor.
Oh my gosh, I got chills. I didn't know that you were unaware that they were going to do it. I thought that you knew ahead of time. So that just makes the story like that much more special. But you know what? You deserve it. You are such an incredible person and a great face for the game. So we appreciate the time, and safe drive the rest of your trip.
Thank you so much, guys.